Well, hello everybody. My name's Shannon. I'm the area sales manager in Atlanta, Canada. Thank you for coming on today. We're super happy to be back doing these presentations. It's been a few months for sure, but we're back on track. It's been a busy few months for sure, but we wanted to come back and do these presentations because we do know that our consumers are looking for them, and we want to provide as much information as possible to you so you can start planning those vacations that we've all been waiting for. Um, so with me today, we have Hori from our Quebec and Ottawa region. Hi, Hori.
Hi, how are you, Shannon? Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Oh, I'm good. So Hori, we'll skip right into it. I know you were in Punta Cana. You just got back just this past weekend. I know
Did.
it was your first trip since all the COVID happened in March of 2020.
Yeah.
Um, what tour supplier did you choose to go with, Hori?
I actually traveled with Sunwing Vacations. So, traveled with Sunwing Vacations and flew, of course, Sunwing Airlines.
Right. Okay. Awesome choice, for sure.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and what did you have to do before your departure here at home?
Just a couple of steps really. The first thing I made sure was to purchase my COVID medical insurance through Manulife.
Hmm.
I wanted to be sure I had that coverage for quarantine and return home should I contract the virus in destination. So I made sure I had my passports, of course, ready to go, that they were updated because it had been a couple of years since I looked at them and I thought I
Yes.
better check, right? So I
Yeah.
made sure my passports were up to date. I completed my online check-in with Sunwing. I ensured, of course, that I had my proof of vaccination downloaded so that
Hmm.
I didn't run into problems there. And I also made sure to fill in my online e-ticket to enter the Dominican Republic. So, for those of you who don't know, this is a simple online form that needs to be filled in for entry and departure from the Dominican Republic, which basically generates a QR code that is checked upon arrival and departure. So, I highly recommend everyone who is traveling with Sunwing to download the Sunwing app, as that was very helpful for me for checking my flight status, adding any upgrades I needed, pre-booking my excursions, and also once in destination, the ability to contact my rep, my Sunwing rep,
Yes.
of course, with
Which is
just a click
amazing.
of a button. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Such a great app for sure.
it is.
Gives you lots of options before you go and even in destinations. So definitely make sure you get that on your phone or device before you go. It's definitely beneficial for you as a traveler. Um, and my next question for you, Hori, is what was the tech check-in process like with Sunwing? What changes did you notice from last time you traveled Sunwing?
I was pleasantly surprised with the check-in process. Actually, this was my first trip, like we mentioned, post-COVID, so
Yes.
I didn't really know what to expect. But Sunwing was excellent, I must say. I used the self check-in, as did most of the clients, and there were two Sunwing agents walking around to help those who needed it.
Right.
It's pretty simple to sort of, go through that process, but there are some people who have questions. What I appreciated, I think, the most was they were holding up a sign to ensure that all the travelers going to the Dominican had filled in the required e-ticket.
Right.
And to my surprise, there was actually quite a few people that hadn't, and they were sort of going off to the side and filling in on their phones quickly. Luckily, it's just a very short form, but just that simple reminder was
Oh, that's
enough to
great.
get them to do it. Yeah.
Happy to hear Sunwing's taking care of that, making sure their customers are taken care of. One other thing I thought of, Hori, is one thing that I know our agents are recommending is customers are at the airport early. Like if you typically were only there 2 hours before, definitely do three at this point. The counters do open 3 hours prior, so make sure you're there at that 3 hour mark or even a little bit before. Kind of might alleviate a little bit of stress. We don't want stress going on a vacation. So,
Absolutely. I was
yeah.
there just a little over 3 hours. I was there, I think,
Yes.
3 hours and 20 minutes ahead of time. But they had the counters open about 10 minutes after that. So it was
Yeah.
pretty quick. Everybody was there early, which was nice to see because
Yeah.
you do need that extra time to get through, make
Yeah.
sure, you're getting through the airport in enough time. It didn't feel that long once you were there.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks, Hori. One other thing I wanted to quickly mention is if anybody's viewing today has any questions, we'd be happy to try and get those answered for you. You can just put them in the Q&A box on your screen, and we will definitely do our best to get to those and answer them as best we can. So please put any questions you might have in there. So moving right along, Hori, once you boarded the plane itself, was it full service on the Sunwing aircraft? Any changes there?
Yeah, not exactly full service, as you had to pre-order your meals and duty-free items in advance through your booking portal if
Right.
you wanted any of that, because you weren't able to purchase those on board.
Hmm.
However, they did service you with non-alcoholic drinks like coffee and soft drinks and juices.
Yeah.
So that service was definitely still on board. But if you wanted any type of food, it had to have been pre-ordered.
Yeah. And again, that's 48 hours before your flight. So and that's not flexible at all. So make sure you get those orders in. If you want a little meal on the plane, you can certainly pack some of your own stuff, but you can pre-order that as well. And if you need any help with that, we're happy to help as agents as well. Just give us a call. Um, and did you mention the duty free?
Yeah, the duty
Yeah.
free, you also have to pre-order that. Absolutely.
Mm.
So you're pre-ordering it and then they basically deliver them to you on the plane.
Right. Okay. Perfect. The next question for you, Hori, is once you actually arrived in Punta Cana, was it easy to venture through the airport and find your Sunwing rep waiting for you? And did you get tested upon arrival? Like, how was immigration? Was there any
Yeah.
changes with the luggage handling? All these questions I know our customers want to know. So,
It was actually really easy. Once we arrived, we had to go through customs first. So they did ask us to present our e-tickets at that time. So we had our e-tickets in hand for the Dominican Republic I mentioned earlier. There are no tests being done locally. So you basically pick up your luggage as normal and then you walk through to the meat area, past sort of that security check, because your luggage does go through security one more time after you pick it up. And the reps were waiting for us. Sunwing and Nexus are very easy to locate if anyone's traveled with them before. They wear orange shirts. They hold up a big Sunwing sign.
mhm.
You really can't miss them. So it's very smooth and it felt honestly the same as pre-COVID.
Oh, that's awesome. That's what we all want to hear for sure.
Yeah.
I have to say too that like I've had lots of colleagues traveling lately and it's inspiring me to get away for sure. And I'm super jealous. Looking at all your pictures last week, Corey, just like it makes you want to go even more, especially when you know people going and they've had such a positive experience. It just,
Yeah.
it certainly makes you want to go even more. So I just wanted to quickly mention that. I know other colleagues are feeling the same way. So um, once you were on the actual transfer bus, Hori, were there any different protocols there?
The only protocol was wearing your mask. That was
Okay.
it, really. The buses did have hand sanitizer at the entrance as you were boarding. So everyone was really good about it. They were sanitizing their hands and then boarding the buses. But other than
Yeah.
that, same as usual.
Okay. That's great. Next one is, was there still a Sunwing greeting meeting time? Because typically on our previous vacations, previous to COVID, there would always be a meet and greet by your rep
Mhm.
at the hotel. Typically, there'd be like a time set. You'd have a piece of paper from them upon arrival. So did you have that? And was it easy to get in touch with your Sunwing rep? If
Yeah.
you had any specific questions or anything.
So there wasn't a Sunwing greeting meeting time like we were sort of all used to, right?
Mm.
However, our Sunwing rep called us in our rooms the next morning and introduced himself. Actually, I take that back. I think it was in the afternoon, but he introduced himself. He told us what time he would be at the resort during our week stay. He also provided us with his cell phone number. So I asked him if I could communicate with him through WhatsApp as I had that on my phone. And he said, absolutely. I messaged him right away my contact information, and he responded with a picture of himself so that I could recognize him in the lobby. I thought that was great. So I knew
Mm-hmm.
exactly what he looked like. And we kept in touch with him for any questions we had during the week. Mostly, for prior to departure and how the pickup was going to be and so on. So he did give us all that information. And he also reminded us the pickup time from the resort for that transfer to the airport at the end of our trip
Mhm.
the night before. So he kind of like recapped it for us without us even asking.
Oh,
And he
amazing.
also reminded us to fill in our e-ticket for the Dominican Republic to depart the country if we
Right.
hadn't done that. Luckily, I knew about it, but for those who didn't, it was fantastic.
Hmm.
And reminded us to fill in the ArriveCAN app for Canada.
Okay. Amazing. That's
So
great
that was,
service.
yeah, I thought it was excellent because it felt, no stress, and he had everything under control if you had any questions. And of
Feels
course, I
like,
mean, not everybody has WhatsApp. I happen
yeah.
to have that ease of using WhatsApp, but if they don't have that downloaded on their phones, don't forget that the Sunwing app
Yeah.
can be used to contact the local rep. So they respond in a timely manner and they can guide you with pretty much everything you need.
Yeah, so downloading that app before you go is great, and certainly,
Absolutely.
it sounds like it's a little bit more of a personalized service from Sunwing now. So
Yeah,
that's really great to hear. I would love that. And just a quick question here I have, just related to something you just mentioned, is someone Ashley actually said, when you say e-ticket, is that the DR entry scan?
it
Can
is.
you just talk a little bit more about that, just so they understand?
So, prior to COVID, there used to be a form that used to fill in on the plane. They used to hand out a
Yes.
form for you to fill in. So, part of it is that, and part of it is just questions related to COVID. If you have a fever, if you have a cough, so it literally took me about 2 to 3 minutes to fill in. It's nothing complicated, sort of the
Hmm.
same thing as what we're used to, but instead of handwriting it in, you're filling them online. So the departure part of it is exactly the same. So you're filling in the same information for the entry and the same information for the departure. So again, it's just passport numbers, your date of birth, your full name, information like that, and just a couple of questions COVID related.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. Um, So next thing is PCR testing. So if anybody doesn't know, for you to enter back into Canada, you have to have a negative PCR test to actually board an aircraft that's coming to Canada. Um, so can you explain how that worked for you in Dominican,
Yeah,
Hori?
sure. So, most of the major chain resorts are offering PCR testing right at the resorts. So, most of the time, it's at your fingertips once you're there. At time of check-in, we were advised where we needed to go to set up our appointments. So, it was clear from the get-go. In our particular resort, they had a couple of rooms designated for this purpose. So we went the next morning, we made our appointments. We had to have our passports in hand because they do take photocopies of it to, ensure they have your names properly and all the information they need. And then on the actual day of our PCR test, it took all of 10 minutes. I mean, it was sort of in the middle of the day for us. It was a 2 o'clock appointment. And I
Hmm.
thought, oh, I'm going to have to leave the beach and go do this and wonder how long it's going to take. But truly, it was 10 minutes. We were in and out of there in no time. And they sent us the results within 48 hours by email.
Hmm.
And that's all we had to show at the airport was that negative test.
Awesome. So just to recap, the test has to be taken no more than 72 hours before your departure back to Canada, and it has to be a negative result that comes back. Um, and just also with the PCR testing, was there a cost?
There
Hori,
was
I
a
know
cost.
there
So
is
PCR
typically.
testing, yeah,
Yes.
unfortunately is not included. It is something that is an out-of-pocket expense for
Yeah.
travelers. And depending on where you're traveling to, rates can vary. In the Dominican, there can be anywhere from $80 to about 120 US per
Right.
person.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Um, were you glad you went, Hori? Just an easy question, I think. Would you hesitate to go again?
Oh gosh, I am so glad I went. I mean, I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous at first with what
Yeah.
to expect, but it went so smoothly and everything was handled so well by Sunwing. Quite honestly, I would not hesitate to book again with them.
Yeah.
And if you are able, please, please get out there and travel. You truly won't regret it.
Yeah, for sure. I 100% agree. Any
Yeah.
any stories I'm hearing back from colleagues? or customers that are traveling are also positive. I think we're all just totally overdue for a vacation. I know I certainly
Yeah.
am. I'm like, it's like just something inside me is I have such a passion for travel. So
Yeah. I
it
think
feels
everyone's ready.
like
We're
I'm
ready.
missing something, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so our agents are ready to get you booked, help you pick your vacation. They're ready to take your calls. We're certainly busy. Suppliers hold times are quite long these days because you know everybody's kind of experiencing shortage of staff across the country in all different industries. So just be patient, but we're certainly ready and willing to help you with your vacation planning. And with that said, we have a fall promo on right now. So basically, we're including for free some of the suppliers' travel protection, which actually gives you some extra flexibility as customers, which we know you're looking for. So that's with Sunwing, Air Transat Holidays, Air Canada Vacations, and WestJet Vacations packages. Of course, with any promo, there are some terms and conditions attached. One of the key terms is it has to be a minimum of spend of $9.95 before tax per person. It's applicable to the first two passengers on file, so free for those two passengers. Um, and yeah, our agents can add that on for you for your vacation. So it is a call-in promotion. You have to call into our toll-free number or visit your local store. Um, and they can explain that to you. There are a couple of dates with WestJet Vacations and Air Canada Vacations that are not applicable. I think more so around the Christmas
Yeah.
time into the new year. But our agents certainly know all those terms and conditions. You can find them on our website as well. But it's certainly a great time to book. You do have to book by October 31st. There are only so many we can offer, so get your calls in. We'll get you booked in and get that added on. So it's certainly a bonus right now for that extra flexibility. So we do have a few. Do you have anything else to add for that, Hori? The promo? Did I miss anything?
No, I think you've got everything in there. And just maybe to add, it is probably best for you to call and speak to one of our agents. We have so much more information that you're going to find
Yeah,
yourself online. So do speak to us.
yeah,
We're all very knowledgeable and we know exactly what you need for each destination. So
yeah.
now's the time to make sure you're supporting the travel agents and your local branches.
Yeah, they're working really hard in the background to trust
Yeah.
us. So certainly they would love your business and they love planning your vacation. So give them a call. They all have such a passion for travel and such. So um, so I'll just try and get to a couple questions here. We're nearing the end, but we did get one there. Someone asked, do you sell Manulife COVID coverage? And Hori certainly mentioned quickly at the beginning that we do. She did purchase that before her trip, and we certainly, any of our agents can offer that to you. You have to speak to an agent within your own province to actually have that discussed and added on, but we can arrange to get you to the right office if so. But there's some really great coverage within that Manulife COVID, which includes some quarantine coverage, a flight home if you do get delayed because of a possible positive test. It also includes your actual medical coverage if you contract COVID during your trip. So
And
definitely something.
all other medical too, not just COVID.
Yep,
If you were
for
to
sure.
have any other situation, that too is covered.
Yep,
Your regular medical is covered too, but
yep.
an absolute must-have for
Oh,
trips. Yeah.
100%. Wouldn't go without it. Wouldn't even think about it. Um, let's see what else. Does Self Vacations have any payment plans? We certainly do. We have the option to do 12, 18, or 24 equal payments. And you can just contact one of our agents for those details for sure. So they'd love to help you plan and get that added on if that's of interest. Um, Brenda mentioned La Romana is La Romana opinion, please, about this resort area. We love snorkeling. Um, Kim Johnson's moderating in the background. I see that she actually said, we love the La Romana area. Be sure to check out the Hyatt La Romana and the Dreams. But there's lots of other properties there as well. Again, our agents can help you narrow down that for sure, depending on what you're looking for. They're the experts for sure. Um, this one here, how easy or safe is it to travel uh, as to rent a car, sorry, as a single female and drive down the coast to Cabarete? Um, that has me
That's
a
a
little
good
bit, sir.
question.
That's a good question. Yeah.
It is a good question.
I
You
see that
know,
Kim did respond here, but you
yeah.
give you let us
Well,
know what you.
We actually met a couple while we were away who rented a car. So they were a couple. Now, in terms
Mhm.
of safety, Dominican tends to be pretty safe, but I think just like anywhere you're traveling, it's a little bit of common sense, right? Like you don't want to do anything that's sort of out of your comfort zone either.
Yep.
But the couple that rented a car, they actually drove down to Santo Domingo area, if I recall. They spent a full day there and then drove back in the evening. And they said it was very easy. They had no problems. The highway was it's sort of like one long highway, if you will. So
Yeah.
very easy to get to and no trouble at all for them. So I hope that answers a little bit. I don't think this is an unsafe country to be in. So hopefully you'll be able to get around and do that.
Yeah. Sure. Skipping right to the next question here. Do you have to be vaccinated to travel starting November 1st? So basically, as of October 30th, all travelers are to be fully vaccinated. Um, for travelers who are in the process of being vaccinated, there will be a short transition period where they will be able to travel if they can show a valid COVID-19 molecular test within 72 hours of travel. By November 30th, though, all travelers must be fully vaccinated with very limited exceptions. So as of right now, that's the rule coming down from the government, and we can certainly give more details if you give a call into our agents as well. Okay. Um, we're coming to an end here. I might be able to get to one or two more questions. Someone said, hello, thank you for this presentation. Based on your experience, there are 5-star resorts you would recommend in Punta Cana for people with gluten allergies, celiac, that any of you or your clients were happy with? Gracias. So I would definitely recommend Royalton properties,
Yep,
Blue
Royalton would be up
Diamond,
there.
Memories. Those would probably be our first recommendation for sure. There's lots of other properties that would offer that too. But just give a call into our agents. They will certainly steer you in the right direction and get you to the best property that fits your needs. So
Yeah.
um, our PCR test required for the DR. They are not required to enter the DR, no. It's just something you need to have and get before you re-enter back into Canada. Um, do you need to wear masks on the plane and at your resort? So you do definitely have to wear it on the plane, 100%. You can take them off for very brief periods to eat or drink, but other than that, you have to wear it. As for on the resort, I'll let you answer that, Hori.
Yeah, sure. So on the resort, the only time that we were using our masks was when we were coming into the restaurants. So at the a la carte restaurants, just like you would go to the restaurants here in Canada, it was simply to get to your seat. Once seated, we were able to take them off. And then in the buffet restaurants, if you were walking around to pick up food from different stations, you had your mask on during that walk around. But again, once you sat down at your table, no masks. And throughout the resort, honestly, there were no masks required at all. I will mention that all the staff at all time have to wear masks. So
Yeah,
the tourists did not have masks, but the staff, the locals, all had masks all day long.
yeah,
And the only time was an enclosed area. So if the resort you're at has, let's say, an enclosed lobby area, you might have to wear your mask to enter the lobby or exit the lobby. But other than that, not at all. There was a select few travelers that I saw that would wear their masks even around the pool, but that was a personal choice, not something that is required.
right. Okay. Amazing. This has been some great information, Hori. Maybe I'll be next. Who knows? Um,
Maybe, and you should.
I should. It's in my head. I'm thinking about it. So,
My bags are
um,
still packed if you want me to come along.
oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. So we'll end this off, everybody. We're so happy to be back. We will be continuing to do these presentations at least once a month through this platform. We're trying to do a weekly live on Facebook with some information for colleagues that are traveling as well. So stay tuned on our main Salifications Facebook page for those. You can go back and watch the last 2 weeks as well. with some colleagues that traveled previous to Mexico. Just a reminder, our fall promo is on until the 31st of October, so don't miss out if you're thinking about booking. Try and book by that date so we can get that added in for you. And you can call into our toll free anytime, 1-877-735-5633. This is recapped on your screen right now. And you can reach out to pointclaire@selloffvacations.com with any questions. Hori is attached to that office, and some of her colleagues there would be happy to answer your questions as well, or get the answers from Hori if they need to. So thank you, Hori, for coming on today.
Thanks for having me. It was great. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. So we hope we answered lots of questions. We may have missed a few, but we'll try and get those answered before we completely end the live. But bye for now. Thanks again for tuning in. It's been great.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye.